morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mrs. Hershey Show, changing the game in music. And I want everyone to say a special hello to our regular co hosts, Francis and Brandon. Thank you all for joining us today. This is the Mrs. Hershey Show. We're changing the game in music. A lot has been going on over the weekend. Hi, everyone. Happy belated Mother's Day. I hope everyone had a happy Mother's Day. Oh my God, Sunday was blessed, full of good energy and spirit. I hope you all enjoy some good music. Let's start the day. Blessings. How have you been doing, Francis? Thanks for joining today.
Good morning, Miss Hershey. I'm always honored to be here.
Let everyone know who you are and some of the things that you do.
Well, my name is Francis Villar. I am an educator with the New York City Department of Education. I work for District 75 Special Programs. I'm also CEO and founder of Harding Media, Brains Academy, Harding Media Productions. I do a lot, Miss Hershey. I'm just here for our people and our culture.
Thank you. And Brandon, good morning. How are you? Brandon is usually busy, and we would like for you to tell us who you are and what you do.
Good morning, everyone. It was definitely a really nice opportunity to be on this show with you, Miss Hershey. Thank you so much for allowing us the privilege to speak on here. My name is Brandon Cheney. I'm based out of the Cleveland, Ohio area. And what I do is during the daytime, I am a direct support professional at a day center for adults dealing with developmental disabilities. And outside of that, I am a content creator. I also help others with their various social medias and just, really give ideas and suggestions and advice. And amongst other things that I do, but that's just a few things that I do.
Exactly, blessings. We are all here for the people. I have some great news. If anyone is looking for a job, Better Noise Music is hiring. All right. They're hiring and they're doing promotions. All right. They announced on May the 7th that the president, who is promoting the new company that they're starting, will need help. So if anyone out there is looking for a job, please make sure they need someone to oversee all the arts relations in New York, Los Angeles, Nashville, Toronto, London, Berlin, and Sydney. And they're also opening new offices in South America and Southeast Asia. So, this could be a blessing for a lot of people. This is a lot of major roles, okay, that can really help. Now, if you guys don't want to do that, we also have other things going on in entertainment news. They are going to be releasing a new IPO. So everyone get ready. This deals with music and stocks. All right. The IPO is a part of TuneCore. And TuneCore is a big distributing company. TuneCore, DistroKid, these are things we need to know. We need to know the differences and what's going on in the music world that can benefit us as well. Also, I'm going to be talking about Jay-Z selling Tidal to Hypnosis and Primary Waves catalog buys. And guess what? We even made the news. Okay, you guys, we are popping. Okay, social app Clubhouse launches Android, and they made their launch on May 10th. So I'm gonna touch bases on that, and also I'm gonna talk about this is so great. All right, it's a Nigerian company, Maven Records, and he is doing great things. Miss Hershey love the kids, and he is working with children, young adults between the age of 18 and 23, helping with training and mentoring. So I'm also going to be touching bases on that this morning as well. Also, I have a little segment where we're going to do artist relations and how artists can make it in the business. With so much going on and so many people trying to pull you to and fro and want you to do what they want you to do instead of letting you do what God wants you to do and fulfill out your purpose through by God, who is the ultimate powerful one, who is the one that's going to make sure that you get to where you need to go, you know. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to listen to a little message that he has for artists. Also, that's going to be great today. I'm going to start with the IPO. Okay, they're going public. Now, when people go public, you are able to trade into their stocks. Deezer in Paris is about to go public. They tried to raise around 400 million in the Paris Euronext, but that was in 2015 and it crashed and burned. So now they're back. This is called never giving up and never stopping. Okay? Now, Believe said that they're going to release this IPO and it's worth 728 million in euro dollars, which they gross digitally in 2020, which means in the United States at over $880 million. Okay? Now, this comes from what TuneCore had, and then they paid out the artists. This is what they paid out the artists, around 441 million euros, which is around 535 million in US dollars. Now, they're floating the company. They believe the IPO is going to strengthen the company by making the global buy-ins more powerful for streaming services, because they're doing streaming services and they're involved with Goldman Sachs. Now, we all know who Goldman Sachs is. If you don't know who Goldman Sachs is, Google it. All right. Now, that's worth over 40 billion projected by 2030. So they believe it's going to grow. So this streaming is a big market, everyone. I want everyone to know how important streaming and distribution and making sure that you get paid your royalties for your music is very, very important, people. All right? And TuneCore is a distributor, just to let you guys know. All right? And Believe bought it for $40 million. So I want everyone to be up to date and on the know of what's going on around you. Because to be aware is to be alive. And if you believe in nothing, you'll fall for anything. I'm going to touch on the Clubhouse and the Android launch. So Clubhouse has been talking about this for a while and talking about launching their Android app. So after months and approximately over a year of discussion and doing beta, Clubhouse has finally released the Android app to let them join to the public. Now, it will become active in the UK and other countries soon. This is what we want to know about this. How is this going to affect us and affect the people? All right, first of all, with the Android phones, they're pretty much not set up too different than the Apple phones, where they have a lot of congestion, where they have a lot of people trying to get on at one time and causing a glitch. Last night I was actually trying to use the Clubhouse app and I received a glitch, and I was told because Android was being added on to it. So what I really want to know now is this Android feature a good thing, a blessing, because more people can get on and it would generate more income, not only for the creators, but for the Clubhouse developers? Or could it be something not so good, which could cause a lot of errors, a lot of people not being able to get on, a lot of audio issues and problems like that? What do you guys think about this?
There's a lot of potential. It's a 50-50 scenario. It's going to provide its benefits, but it's also going to provide its side effects too. With the Android devices, typically people like to get experimental, but it's just like, well, what are we utilizing this for? Are we utilizing this to benefit the people, are utilizing this for personal gain. And there's a lot of people who utilize Android to hack and what have you. And it's just like, it really defeats the purpose. So it's going to be 50-50. There's going to be some people who are Android users who are going to use it for good. Others are going to use it for bad.
Well, there are way more Android users than there are iPhone users. So that's one of the benefits for Clubhouse to gain. They're going to gain way more people to use their app. The only problem is, like Brandon was saying, when it comes to Android and Apple has way more security and they have more restrictions when it comes to apps because their apps has to be encrypted in certain ways. It has to have a certain amount of megabytes, what they call like firewalls. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. So think about like a brick wall. You're trying to go into a house, and when you open the door to the house, there's a brick wall. You can't go in. So Apple has a lot of those things, while Android does not. So that's one of the benefits. But another thing that's going to happen is that because Clubhouse was just for Apple users, Discord was just for Android users. So Clubhouse is going to take a lot of customers away from Discord with this. So there are benefits and non-benefits to it.
Yes, you are absolutely right. And as well, they are going to make a lot more money. And it's still private. Oh, hi, Miss Tamara.
Miss Hershey, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Good morning. This is Miss Tamara. Tamara, could you please tell everyone who you are and what you do?
I've been trying to catch her room in the morning. Support. Miss Hershey is a great support to everybody on this platform. So anytime we can, we try. We're a nonprofit organization that uses entertainment, entrepreneurship, and innovation to stop youth violence. And our goal is to bridge the gap. And we've been in business about as a nonprofit for about 3 years, but I've been bridging the gap pretty much all my life. And we use this to stop violence and give resources and information to the community and families. Since we've been on this platform, we've been able to design an app with 25 other businesses that have the same mindset and wanting to be the change that they want to see in their community. And we meet every day from 9:30 to 12 p.m. in the morning, and we just build. We have a meet and greet in Atlanta coming May 21st through the 23rd, and one of our biggest goals in our room is to help other nonprofits and other businesses become to the point where we can do business together and go after grant funding. We've been real big on this platform with just encouraging everyone to be the change that they want to see. And, we really, need to come together and use this platform to really benefit each other and help each other with knowledge and information that can push us to the next level. So that's one of our biggest goals as a nonprofit organization while we're on this platform. But we were the initiative in putting a digital recording studio inside of an innovation lab. If youth can record music, they can learn to build digital ships. Music schematics matches shipbuilding schematics. And we have 1.8 to 2.4 million STEM and innovation jobs not being filled by youth right now. So our organization has taken the lead in wanting to introduce this to any business, organization, mother, family member. We want to share this with as many people as we can because these jobs are for our babies. I'm not a STEM or STEAM expert. I had to go in and start reading about it and researching it. With that high number, 1.8 to 2.4 million, we felt like that this would be a key to helping economic development in communities. If we can get some of these babies these jobs, making a high five-figure to six-figure income, then it can change their life pretty much. Um, that studio that I'm talking about is in an underserved area in downtown Newport News here in Virginia. So when we had that studio put in that lab and we were able to see all the other machines like 3D printers, laser cutters, vinyl cutters, woodshop bop, and mixed reality, all these different machines connect our babies to these jobs. So our organization has taken the lead in wanting to introduce this to anyone that will really listen. Because right now, if you're around any teenagers or any youth, you know, a lot of them don't know the next direction that they're going into. A lot of them think that they're going to be the next rapper, the next singer, the next YouTuber, not necessarily seeking college and things like that. So we need to be the people that help our youth. Let them see people like us that look like us, talk like us, walk like us, and show them some of the things that we're doing in our entrepreneur worlds and even in the corporate world. So our goal is to be the Amazon of connecting businesses, organizations to job readiness and economic opportunities for our communities. So thank you, Ms. Hershey, for giving me a chance to tell everyone about our organization and what we're doing.
No, thank you. Blessings. That was Tamara. Oh my gosh, she does great work with the children. This is Mrs. Hershey and Tamara. I got great news for you. You know I always got the good news. I come to spread the good news, honey. So,
I love it.
I met this man. He's in Nigeria, right? He's with Maven Records. So, I'm going to speak with him about your company and everything he's doing. And I was getting ready to talk to Francis and Brandon about this. High Rage. Maven Records is a company in Nigeria where he helps children, well, young adults between the ages of 18 to 23 find training, mentoring, and he does internships in digital, artist relations, new businesses, PR, and promotions, and creative marketing. And the ages between 18 and 23 is really when these young adults, because they are not grown, you're not grown till you're 25. These young adults are trying to find themselves. And this is great because it's very bad in Nigeria. And hopefully we can get him, to incorporate that with America and we can bridge that gap. Like we always say, we're here to bridge the gap and build the communities and help us all become one village. They was talking last night in the room about how the 12 tribes were separated and that we all do different things. And that when we become one, that's when God is going to come back. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Everyone has their own revelation. But I do know if we become one, we will be stronger. If we become one and believe in each other, it's nobody that can tear us apart and tear our nation down. We have been in suffrage for over 400 years, which means our curse is over. And now it's time for us to take back what is ours, reign on top, and help everyone come up together and love each other and be as one. I'm gonna let you guys listen to his little excerpt. His name is Pooh Bear. All right. His real name is Jason Boyd, and he's talking a little bit about the industry and the things that we need to do in the industry.
I just like to look at the glass half full, as opposed to half empty, and right now, um, just seeing just the fact that people are speaking up on it is an amazing thing. It would be awesome to know where this money that's been allocated for the Black community is actually going to end up. That's something that would be interesting. But just the fact that we're in an era right now where these things, these problems in our system, they can't be ignored. And it's so relevant, so in our face that it can no longer just be like swept under the rug. And I feel like this is going to be a real sensitive time to see how they really how much they really value, our culture, just because of that whole slave mentality it carried over into the music industry. It carried over into sports. So it carried over into all fields of entertainment for our culture. So even though we were, slavery was abolished, it kind of was like shifted, and it'll be really interesting to see how much they really value us, and to see, I'm optimistic about change, but to see if they're gonna really, is this something that they're just talking about because it's cool right now, as a fad, or if people are really tired of this, this systematic discrimination, and really, put their money where their mouth is, and at the same time make sure that money is making it to the communities that actually need it the most, and it's not, what is it called when you intercept it by these companies that come in and say, oh, we're going to come in, we're going to make sure all this money goes to where it needs to go, and it never does. Like when you look at Katrina, you look at Haiti, you look at so many different situations where people of color need help financially, and these companies create these these nonprofit organizations, and the money actually never makes it to the people. So it would just be interesting to see the outcome. It would be interesting to see where we are 30 days from now, to see if this topic is still as relevant, if it's still something that, or, when you look at a lot of like Instagram posts, and a lot of, you look at the fashion world, and you'll see like every fashion post is, white pictures, whitewashed, it's white, and it's cool. That's the way it's always been. But then you'll see the one blackout day where it's all black. But then literally the next post is still, it's like, well, we got to do this, or we're gonna be looked upon, frowned upon. So let me post this blacked out post on my Instagram, but it's still nothing's gonna change in that world. So I'm being optimistic. It would just be cool to see where we are 30 days from now, and yeah, that's where I am about that.
What one thing, I'm going to ask you this question later about more generally, but on this subject, what one thing is the strangest? Is it the lack of people of color at the top of the companies when the market and the artists and the creatives are so diverse?
It's sad that you will only see maybe 1, 2 at the most black execs in the music industry, being that we have so much influence on we're tastemakers, and we kind of set the tone. So it's interesting to see that there is only maybe 1 or 2 black executives in the U.S. music market. It also is interesting to see the standards of the contracts, that these are not laws, that that these contracts, they're not laws. It's like, these are standards that were set a long time ago, and it's something that could be changed. But so like I said, it'll be interesting to even see that, even the conversation of BMG going back to look at contracts, you're gonna look at the deals, and you can see that they're clearly lopsided, that the black artists and creators, their deals are going to be the penny deal. They're going to be the least expensive deals. They're going to be, they'll get a budget of $50,000 as opposed to, a white artist would get a budget of $500,000. It's been like this. So from that part of it, changing the standards in these contracts, because they're not fair, and they always leave, the artists in the hole. No matter how many millions of records they sell, they're always in the hole, and it's just set up like that to keep artists in a certain position, and for them to keep the leverage. So it'll just be cool to see those standards change in the contracts, and it will be cool to see more people of color in executive positions in the music industry, in the labels, just because it's like, when it comes down to it, what allows you, like, what what value? I mean, what am I trying to? I'm trying to say what says, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what a hit song is. I know X, Y, and Z. When they've never created a song, they've never created or written or produced a hit, never been in a position to even really, have anything to do with any music, and yet these are the people who make the final decisions on our music. So it's like a kind of slap in the face. It's like, and then they have to say something because they get paid a salary to say something. So it's like, okay, let's get some more people that actually have, created hits, that actually understand music, that actually understand these things in our culture. Let's get some of those people high up, that way we could have somebody in our corner that I can even legitimately trust their opinion and not say, what do you know what a hit is? Like, how are you gonna say if this song is gonna work or not when you've never been a part of creating a hit? You don't even know. You're just supposed to say something because you're on a salary. So it would be amazing to see more people of color as executives in the music business, and it's been something that's been kind of taboo over the years, just because everybody wants to be cool and nobody wants to ruffle anybody's feathers. But yes, it would be amazing to see more people of color in executive positions in the music industry.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, please do. But you seem to indicate not only the people of colour side, but you'd like to see more people who have creative experience at the top of these companies, regardless of anything else.
Yep, correct, 1000%. Just because for me as a creator, like, okay, I've been blessed enough to write hit records since I was 16 years old. So and things have changed. And even that being said, there's times where I'll write a record and I'll think it's okay, and I'm like, this is cool, and it'll end up being a #1 record. So even to kind of not really contradict what I'm saying, but like even writing hits and being a part of successful records, you still things change and you still can't say this is 100% gonna work. So but just to have people in position that have been a part of hits, at least they can say, well, I did this, and this, and that didn't work. And then when I create this, and this was a hit. It's some type of a template, to say, well, through trial and error, wow, people tend to connect to these records more, as opposed to just coming from a place of, I really don't even listen to music at all. I'm just supposed to say something because I get paid a lot of money to be in this position. It frustrates the artist, it frustrates, and it waters down the music, just because those people's opinions, at the end of the day, they have the last say because they're the ones that cut the checks that are going to promote the music that you're trying to put out. So it's difficult. You'll spend all this energy and effort into creating this music, and then it gets to an exec, and he's like, I don't really get this. And it's like, but you never got it, and you're not supposed to get it. We didn't make this music for you to get. We made this for a certain demographic to get. So,
and see, and that's what I wanted you all to hear. It's not for them to get. We make our music for us. We make our music for the children, for our generation, so that they can grow and that they can know where we came from. They do not teach what we've been through in the schools. Matter of fact, they're trying to erase it. They're taking all the nigga and all the abuse that we went through out of the school system. I guess to bring unity. No. All of our children, everyone needs to know what we went through in the past, just like the Holocaust. It is no different. Us as African Americans, we went through our own Holocaust, all right? We are regrowing our generation. We are repurposing our future. And we are creating generational wealth for our community. And I want us all to join together, to band together, to bridge the gap, to bring us closer together so that we can be one. A community is a village, and a community brings the bridge together. We will build this bridge. We will mend the broken ties. We will bring everyone together. This is Mrs. Hershey.
Rich?
Oh, I was mic clapping. Good morning, everybody. I was mic clapping. That was a whole lot of goodness I just heard this good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hershey. And just like Miss Hershey and Tamara were saying, there are so many things that our youth are unaware of because we haven't incorporated it into our daily lives. It's like we're ashamed of the trauma that we've been through, and we can't do that because our children are being cuddled into a community that is unaware. So our children, all they do is live in their own little world, as I call it, and they're unaware of other people's worlds. And we need to, educate them on how to be able to see through other people's lenses, how to see through other people's eyes. Because everyone struggle while the situations might be different. The trauma that we infer, like depression, anxiety, and all those other things, are because of the trauma. So that we do have in common. So we need to come together to bridge that gap. I would love to collaborate with you tomorrow. I'm actually writing a book with my son called Bridging the Gap, because I think our generation, I'm talking about us 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s adults, having children now, between the millennials, 2000, there's a big gap of how we were raised because we were exposed to so much and they aren't because we're covering for them. So I want to be able to write that book as an anthology from experience from all of our youth.
I do want to apologize, and I did hear you say my name, Francis, but I took a phone call. Is there any way that you can repeat what you just said? I apologize. I wanted to hear you full.
That I'm writing a book with my son called Emotional Work Bridging the Gap. So I would love to collaborate with you on this book because I would like for it to be an anthology. So an anthology is like stories from people that come together and are put like in a book to help bridge a gap between our generations, so us from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and the millennials, because I feel we were exposed to so much in our lives and our culture, but they aren't, like we're cuddling them. So I think with the book, we can spread cultural awareness to our community.
I would absolutely love to be a part of that, and you hit it on the nose. Like we're big at meeting them where they are because they're not like us, and I figured that part out. Like they're not like us in a lot of ways, and it's not their fault. It's a mixture of what's been put out in the media and just what's been fed to them, and then it's also us. Us wanting to give everything what they have to give back. And it's what I'm noticing. Like you have to admit it. I did it with my daughter. She's 21, and I see her. She's definitely a hard worker and things like that because I'm a workhorse and I always have been. So, and I taught her certain things about work ethic, and I see that in her. But I do know that I spoiled her, and not to the point where I'm seeing you all. 2 weeks ago, I was in tears because I cry a lot about this. I don't know if God just made me. I cry a lot about what is going on with our youth and young adults and just how they're turning out. It hurts my feelings. And I was around some mothers that are dealing with their daughters, not wanting to listen, leaving home at 17 and 18 and not ready, not out of high school, and they're talking to their moms, y'all, like in a way that I don't think that I could stand if my children talk to me. Like, I don't know what I would do, mentally, as a person to deal with another human being that you gave birth to and you love with all your heart, and they just are so hurtful and disrespectful. And I don't know, like Saturday, y'all 5 girls fighting at Sonic's. I went to get ice cream. They had their job fighting. Came out of the work area fighting. Like,
I hate to see that. I hate to see women against like that. Breaks my soul when I see that.
What did you say? Did you say anything? Look, this is what would you do moment. Did you say anything?
Listen, Miss Hershey, it was crazy because we had just left the Spirit of Norfolk, like a cruise with my family for Mother's Day. You know, just celebrating my grandma, and I have an 86-year-old grandma, y'all, who still does the wobble.
Oh, girl, stop. I know y'all took pictures.
You know we did. You gotta follow me on Facebook. That's where you can see some of that stuff, Hershey. Miss Hershey, I don't post a lot of that on Instagram, but I did do one picture of my grandma. She's 87. And you know what she told me? She said, don't be telling my age on Facebook and stuff. You know you popular, and I don't want my boyfriend to know how old I am for real.
I know that's right. And guess what? Let me tell you your blessing from that. Look, you're going to be just like your grandma because you full of life. And you know, you can see it. This is how God bless us. You know when God bless you to get that age, you're going to be full of life. You're going to be vibrant and still look young and still feel young. Thank you, Jesus.
You right, Miss Hershey. Look, I love to watch my grandma and tape her because I tell people, I said, she makes me know where I'm going to go. You know, if she's still able to, my grandma does pretty much everything good, y'all. You know, look, she calls her boyfriend, she said, you know he a disc jockey. Her boyfriend a DJ. So she says, you know my boyfriend a disc jockey because I'm in the entertainment world. So she'll always say that when she see me. But with those girls, you all, I was with my middle sister. I'm the oldest. It's 3 of us. And my middle sister is a lot like me, but different. She's a corporate girl. She is the head accountant for the corporate Waffle House. All over all the Waffle Houses, she's the accountant for them. So she's very, just different from me. You know, I'm just different. We're different. She's corporate, and I'm been in the streets most of my life with my businesses and my nonprofit and stuff. So when the girls, we heard them cursing inside of the work area as we were ordering the food, but we kind of disregarded it, you know. And I told my sister, I said, they turning up. You know, she said, I don't know what's going on. She said, but they better get my ice cream. So they handed us part of our order and said, pull up. We're going to bring the ice cream. Well, when we pulled up, y'all, instead of them bringing the ice cream, they went outside and started fighting. So I was very surprised. I immediately, you know, got out the car. I didn't go over there, Miss Hershey. I seen a policeman, like, turning the right corner to go onto a main road. So I'm trying to get him. My sister, it blew my mind. She was like, come on, let's go over here and stop these girls. Because that's not her norm, y'all. Remember, I just told you she's corporate. So it blew my mind when she was just like, come on. That's normally me. Want to get in the middle and bridge the gap and stop something. It not really her. So when she said, come on, I immediately started going over there, and we did. We tried to break them up. It was like they were fighting in slow motion. So it wasn't like it was dangerous to go in the middle of it because they were like slow motion fighting. I don't really know what type of fighting they were doing, but it was like you could talk to them. They were holding each other and pulling each other's hair and cursing at each other, but it wasn't a fast movement, so we were able to stand there and try to separate them. And my sister in the car talking to another set that's holding each other's stuff. Well, I did, Miss Hershey. I told him, I said, y'all, I have a nonprofit organization. You all should be out here doing this. Please stop. You're making yourselves look crazy. Look at all the customers. And when I say this Sonics, y'all, is one of the busiest fast food restaurants because it sits on our main strip, Mercury Boulevard. So it's like everyone, comes there for ice cream and stuff. So the line was getting longer and longer. I think because they were in slow motion, people didn't really know they were fighting because it was in such slow motion, but they were loudly arguing with each other. And like I said, Ms. Hershey, it turned on me. The girl said, you have a nonprofit, because I told him, I said, listen, I have a nonprofit organization, and I said, I live my life trying to stop this type of stuff. So one of the girls, I said, and y'all, you all been fighting a while. I said, I called the police. So I think that this made one of the girls mad because I said I called the police. I guess the new thing is don't call the police because the police will kill you.
Now, why you call the police? I mean, not trying to be funny. I told you to de-escalate the situation. These are people.
Now, Miss Hershey, listen. If I felt like that I could de-escalate the situation, then I would have done that.
Oh, they was too crazy.
It was too crazy and it was going on too long. And what I thought about Miss Hershey is the customers, the people, babe. What about the people that came to the establishment to get ice cream? Not to mention, my two nieces and my nephew were in the car. So, I get it that, we want to say don't call the police. Well, I'm going to be honest, you all. I've never had an incident where the police didn't work for me. I just have to be honest. I've never had that.
Well,
so I don't, because I know how to. I'm gonna say this. I have had incidents where I felt like I wasn't treated fairly. I'm not gonna say that. But when I've called them to a situation, I've not had it where they didn't do their job as police officers. So that part for me, I don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that they have a job to do. And they're at work. They work for us. So my mindset sometimes doesn't think on the other end like that. I'm sorry, Tamara, to cut you off, but that's where we need to bridge the gap. It's like, so I guess I'm an old soul. I guess that's what they call me. Because what I immediately think about is our communities, like the Black Panthers, like what they used to do. When there was something in the community that happened, the police was not called. They were called.
Amen. And I'm going to tell y'all my story. Go ahead, Francis.
And I think we need something like that. We don't have organizations, and I think organizations like ours that are trying to bridge the gap can do that. We can create like a brigade, so when stuff like that happens, we can call one of what the hell's going on with y'all? One of our communities can fix it. Because look at that girl that was shot. She was defending herself in front of her house. And she wasn't murdered by the people she was fighting. She was murdered by a police officer. So we have to, and I understand what you said. I know a lot of police officers. I know my husband is a federal officer for Homeland Security. So it's like I have nothing against the police. I mean, I have a lot against racist killer cops. That's different than police officers. So we need to educate our communities on how we can serve ourselves a little better. So because the police wasn't made for us. I don't know if anyone knows that. The police was made to trap slaves back in those days. That's what it was created for. So it wasn't to protect our communities. So we need to create things that are going to protect our communities. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
I agree with you. I agree with you a lot. I personally asked you if you were okay. She didn't make a complaint against them. I said, hell no. So she was off that day. She came in, went down to the police station and did that. And no, it didn't bring me any comfort because I was like, bro, if our windows were up, the music could have been on. They could have shot through our window, and you know, I could have been dead. And that was only a few years ago. That was when police brutality was getting awful. So I was like, oh no. When it comes to certain instances and calling the law, it's just like, no, I would rather have community law than, police law right now because it ain't doing too much for the community on no side of the spectrum.
Yes, Rage. And this is Mrs. Hershey. What I have to say about that is this. Okay, I had two different instances. The first instances that I'm going to talk about is me bringing the youth together. I was in Virginia and I was outside of a gas station and they got the arguing and they came out the gas station with it. Now, if anything, this is a police calling situation, but no, I cannot call the police on my people. They killing my people, let my people go. No, 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 sir. So anyway, the boy came out. He was like, "Yeah, you ain't gonna do nothing, man." Nah, nah, nah." Then the other dude came running out there. Was like, "Yeah, you owe me money. I should do this and that to you." And like it got a real heavy situation to where the point where they was right. Yeah, man, I'll do this and that. And like one dude, when like he was ready to go into his car and do something. That's when here I come to save the day. Now maybe this wasn't a good situation, but I'm gonna speak on it because God is my armor and sword. Okay, and God told me to have love and love overpower evil. So I said no, y'all not gonna do this. I said they killing us. Yeah, facts. Let's get this straight. When I see our people fighting against each other, first thing I want to do is go to that psychological. They are killing us. We are not going to kill each other. We are not going to beat each other. Yes, tomorrow that's where I'm at with it. We're going to stop this. No, 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 we're going to do this another way. Because they already killing us. They love it. They love to see that stuff. Stop it. We're going to love each other. Then let's see what's going on. So I started talking to the boys. I said, because I've been had enough of this. Violence against each other. It's a better way we can work this out. Yeah, we're going to do something else. And I started talking to them. And I started getting to know them as individuals. Because it ain't about me. It wasn't about who Miss Hershey is, what I do, or none of that. No. It's about y'all going to stop this now. We going to get this together. And that's why I want us to walk in unity. And Tamara, sometimes everybody different. People handle situations with how they feel best, and to the best of their abilities, and what best for them. And it's a what would you do moment, because in the split of anything could happen. But me personally, and I want us all to employ. Let's try to teach each other. Let's try to heal each other. And Tamara, I know you love the kids because you always have the children. Coco the plug has joined us today.
So, Miss Hershey, my plan is to, I go the extra mile now, y'all. And I do agree with what you all are talking about. Um, what I do is I recruit a lot of my hood dudes or the dudes who um, used to live a certain life. I ain't gonna say hood, but dudes who used to live a certain life, they do step up and help bridging the gap often. So the idea that you are speaking of, I love it. It's definitely something that we could put into place. What I say is everybody has a job to do in this, and we can't do it all. And a part of bridging the gap is finding other people who want to put these type of things together and have us join in together. That's the bigger part about it. Our biggest mission is to spread the word about being the change you want to see. If you're being the change you want to see, then you're walking in your purpose. Um, you're right. People make different decisions at different times. At that moment, concerned to you all about the people that were there, the actual customers that came to the place. You know, like, it's a thin line sometimes with all of this. And what I have requested and I'm going to request is, and I'm gonna have to take this call because they will keep calling. Is to speak to the owner of the Sonics. As soon as I left there, we went to another Sonics and got information about that Sonics, and the owner of the actual is supposed to call me because I want to speak to her. It's a woman who owns that Sonics, and that Sonics grosses, I think they said like 1 point something million, you know? So like, I want to ask her, like, I want to talk to the owner and ask her, like, what type of, customer service and incentives and things, what are you doing on the job, to train your employees? Because what I'm seeing, y'all, and I know, it's not just me. Everywhere we go, like, everybody doing what they want to do on these jobs. Like, it's no respect for you, the customer, the person who's spending their money. Like, it's just all out of the door right now. So, Bridging the Gap's goal is to be the in-your-face organization to really, like, ask people, like, what are we doing? I'm a mom. So a lot of these instances, I put the mom hat on in things when I think about things. So, I really want to ask companies, are you just, because I can imagine she's probably not going to be able to, because it was too many of them. It's like 6 of them out there. It's like 5 or 6.
That hurts me, Tamara. That's what my company does. We do culturally relevant training, development training for companies. So we train them, the companies, depending on the type of employees they have, about their employees' culture, their religion, their ways of what they value, what they don't value, what's respected in their religious or their cultural communities. So there isn't no misunderstanding or racism, or because honestly, people hate what they don't know, they don't understand. So if you educate them and teach them about people's individual way of life, and you get an opportunity to learn about it, and then you have a different lens and perspective of how to respect them. So give them my number, or send them my website. I would love to talk to that lady so we can train her and her employees, because we also do code switch training. Like, you can't behave how you behave at home at the office. The office, you have cultural mannerisms that you have to express. At home, you can do whatever you want. You pay rent in your house, you close your doors, you are free, as I tell my friend. When I'm home, I'm free. I can curse all I want. I pay rent and just be. When I'm at work, I definitely don't speak in that way, but we need to teach our children that, how their view in the public is different than how your view at home. So they need to understand that.
You tracking. I remember I was telling this story yesterday in the group, just about my daughter, her first job at Cookout, and I'll never forget with her. A job was an option. Her grades and respecting her mom and respecting her home was first and foremost. So the job pretty much was held over her head, that if she did not uphold these things, that she could not work. So one day she decided, and y'all from Virginia, some Miss Hershey and Rages, so they don't know what I'm talking about. My daughter left from Hampton and went through the tunnel, the Norfolk, to the mall at 16 and did not tell me. And I don't play that. Even back at, I just was not real strict, but I have a lot of and I enforced a rule. And rule that I think she didn't even know that it was a rule that you're not allowed to go through the tunnel. to them all. And when I found out, I was like, like, you didn't tell me where you were going. That means you got to quit the job. So she contacted her boss to tell him that, she could not work anymore. And I think she told him the reason why. And he asked her, he said, can he get my phone number and call me? And I tell this story because I like for people to understand that, we teach our children. And we're not to let TV and all these other things teach our children. Her boss called and he addressed me, and Miss Wills, he said, I know you're parenting right now, and I have no right to get in the middle of your parenting. He said it just like that. He said, but ma'am, please do not make your daughter quit this job. He said she is the absolute best employee that I have, and she's a great example to the other employees, and I had to hear him, and I know the things, I had put in my daughter, so I already knew. She knew you don't go to that job to play. Like, it's not a game. You there to work and make money. You play when you get home, or play when you with your friends.
Did you tell them girls that when they was out there fighting?
Miss Hershey, it was no time for that. Like, and my goal is to go back, like I said, and talk to the owner and be able to do that. But it was at that moment with them fighting like that, the adrenaline, my mind wasn't thinking about that in that way. More so my mind was to separate them and keep them from hurting each other. So I can't say, and this is why everybody has a position to play. That's not my position, Ms. Hershey. See, I understand this, and I believe this. Like, we do try to do each other jobs and do other people. That's not my position in this. So, when that happened that way, she left, and I wanted to talk to her. Wow. About what she's doing, because we can offer as a service other businesses.
Yes, and you are absolutely right. And I thank you all for coming today. Thank you so much. It's been a great day. We're going to end with sorry, not sorry, because that's how it goes sometimes. Yes. And thanks everyone for coming to the Miss Hershey Show. I would like to tell you all it's been a blessing. Hi, A.
Sorry, not sorry.
Would you like to tell everyone who you are and what do you do?
My name is Muhammad.
Buenos.
That's it.
Living a dream, living a dream. We the best music. Another one. DJ Khaled. Hear ye, only kings stand near me. Silicon Valley money mixed with Henny, that's offending. Half a century almost, slice the green like a lawnmower. So we all on, never fall off. Hear a boss talk. You don't hear me, that's your loss.
This has been Miss Hershey Show. Thank you guys for coming. Love y'all.
Basically cryptocurrency Scarface. Join us, there's gotta be more of us. I'm from the ghetto. What location? 2 seconds from the devil. I live heavenly in Cabo with a Mexican sombrero. Drink heavily. Health is wealth. Looking well to me. Wipe your nose. History, my type of clothes. Miss me with the hate. Help so many people get cake. Whips and cream for the crew. No other weed that think fast. The time I spit this, I started some other business. Came from the pitching, came in the kitchen. Dangerous missions, wasting your time if you want my forgiveness. Sorry, not sorry. Don't mind me, I'm living a dream, living a dream, yeah. Came nothing where the thought that we would be, living a dream, living a dream, yeah.
Sorry, that's another beat. Haters still ain't recovered from the other beat. That's a double B. Now that's a triple B. Can't forget about the other B. Hey. It's white gloves for me. Hater know not to touch me. I'm with the fuckery. Fuck with me. Humbly. Nah, respectfully. I'm a project baby. Fuck y'all expect from me. Technically. America's disrespect for me. You killed Christ. You created religion unexpectedly. Circular ice on Japanese whiskey on my mezzanine. Overlooking the city of angels. The angel investor in things. Unprecedented run. Everybody's getting bands. We just dance to different drums. I like who I become. Intermittent fasting, but these meals I'm not missing none. Sorry.
Not sorry. Don't mind me. I'm living a dream. Living a dream, yeah. Came nothing where the thought that we would be. Living a dream, living a dream, yeah.
Cause we toasting to our enemies. We just living life on this side. You just heavenly up. Foreign immigrant, only privileges innocent. Still living limitless, they ain't killing my energy. Drop top 911, shouting obscenities. It's a Smith & Wesson, he kids be thinking of testing. Dollar bills for the girls with their jealousy. Out here chasing bills to live the life of a celebrity. Money on my mind, I'ma get it, that shit vital. Dollar signs, better make them feel spiteful. Ain't no problem, middle finger to my Bible. I won't fail, I'ma give it as I'm Bible. Sign them in the wind screaming, fuck you. When they see you rise, they don't love you. Swear they always come to say love you. Nah, you won't get to see me fall. $1 million dreams, so I'm scheming. Watching people change like the seasons. They say it ain't fair, I believe in. I was hard at work while y'all was sleeping. Decided to keep faded off the 42. I can do it all that you only do. No drama, only text like a Nike swoosh. Closer to the grand for the social proof. Money on my mind, I'ma get it, that shit vital. Dollar signs, better make them feel spiteful. Ain't no problem, middle finger to my Bible. I won't fail, I'ma give it as I'm liable. Sign them in the wind screaming, fuck you. When they see you rise, they don't love you. Swear they always come to say love you. Nah, you won't get to see me fall. Glasses of vino, the mob like casino. Ace like De Niro, sorta lifestyle primo. Like a movie, put the Tarantino. I'm just doing me, they get the window. Glorious bastards on Tony like Pacino. Basically success and break the bad ego. We are not equal. I'll be on my grind till it's pockets full of C-notes. Money on my mind, I'ma get it, that shit vital. Dollar signs, better make them feel spiteful. Ain't no problem, middle finger to my Bible. I won't fail, I'ma give it as I'm liable. Sign them in the wind screaming, fuck you. When they see you rise, they don't love you. Swear they always come to say love you. Nah, you won't get to see me fall.
We can take trips to places so beautiful. Sip on some drinks that will
make a solution. We will be